All right, I want to go now and bring on Mike Davis. He's the founder of the Article 3 Project. Mike, thank you for joining us on Washington Watch. We are honored to have you.
Thank you for having me, Congressman.
We're glad to. Listen, let's just continue this thought and go deeper. You are, of course, very deeply rooted from a legal perspective. Let me begin by asking you same question I just asked Tim. What is the future of our legal systems, our legal schools, the students that are coming out of the schools, the impact that that is going to have on the legal system and judicial branch of our government going forward? If what happened at Stanford and similar incidents like that, if this is not changed, what does the future look like?
Well, first of all, I want to say that the future looks very bright when we have young law students like Tim Rosenberger, who we just saw on your show.
That is the truth.
This guy has a lot of courage for taking on university deans at Stanford University. So I want to say cheers to him. And I hope that my friends in the federal judiciary, maybe Judge Patrick Bumate, Judge Amul Thapar, Judge Jim Ho, many judges out there should look at Tim Rosenberger for a plum federal clerkship when he's done at Stanford, because this guy is clearly smart and he clearly has courage. So there is hope there. The problem is that Tim is a small minority in law schools. These law schools are, I went to law school 20 years ago, but Tim is now in law school with a bunch of woke, entitled cupcake babies who don't want to have debates. They want to censor, silence, cancel. This is no longer our parents' or grandparents' Democrat Party. These are not liberals who love America and just agree with conservatives on the best way to get there. These are no longer liberals who believe in free speech. They believe in censorship. They don't believe in due process. They believe in Me Too. They don't believe in equality. They believe in equity. This is the Marxist left that have taken over the Democrat Party. And you're seeing this particularly with these academics like this useless diversity, equity, and inclusion dean at Stanford Law School, Tyrion Steinbach. She shouldn't be there. She proved that she shouldn't be there. The university should fire her immediately. Federal judges and state judges should stop hiring Stanford law students until she's fired. Stanford's donors should stop giving money to Stanford University until she's fired, and they should call the Stanford president and demand that she gets fired. That is totally unacceptable, what DEI Dean Steinbach did to anyone, let alone a federal appellate judge, Judge Kyle Duncan. It's unacceptable, and there has to be consequences. There have to be consequences for what she did. Those students who held up the most disgusting signs trying to shout him down. Look, it's not free speech to show up and shout someone down. That is not free speech. That is what Marxists do, and we cannot tolerate this in America. And they've crossed a red line here. There needs to be consequences.
Absolutely. Listen, you just ditto. I say to you, thank you for everything you just said, and including a shout out for Tim Rosenberger. What an articulate young man on truth and the law. I mean, he understands what he's talking about, and I'm so glad that he was there and was able to come on and share with it. But you yourself, you're deeply entrenched in legal issues. I mean, you were the former chief counsel for nominations to the Senate Judiciary Chairman Chuck Grassley. You yourself served in all three branches of our federal government. I mean, you understand what's going on here. So when you speak to the issues that are happening there at Stanford as you see them, you speak with authority. How would you rate other Ivy League schools? I mean, where across the board is what happens at Stanford, by the way, in other words, a unique scenario, or is this type of thing acceptable in so many of our other law schools across the country?
I just published a Newsweek opinion piece on this, and unfortunately, Congressman, this is happening everywhere, whether it's Yale or Georgetown or all over the country. And again, it is this leftist mindset where it's not liberal Democrats anymore. It's a leftist mindset where they do not believe in free speech. They do not believe in tolerance. They believe in censorship. They believe in equity. They believe in intolerance. These are not liberals. These are illiberal people. This is the Marxist left. And the problem is that leftists have infiltrated every place in our society. They've even from big tech, big media. They've long been washed out bums in academia, especially law schools, like DEI Dean Tyrion Steinbach, who couldn't have a real job in the real world if she tried. So they have to create a fake job for her at Stanford. That's the problem is you have these leftists taking over these key institutions. Heck, they're even taking over the military. We even have a woke military now. And it's just, look, if I were the communist Chinese, if I could write a playbook to destroy America, what we've been doing in America over the last 3 or 4 years with COVID lockdowns and BLM and Antifa and Me Too and pronouns and just equity, the nonsense that we've seen, all these tactics from the Marxist left, that would be right. That would be in my playbook if I were the communist Chinese government, because it is doing so much damage to our country. We're seeing our country divided, maybe trying to conquer us, pitting us against each other, making us hate our country. So maybe they can rebuild it in their Marxist image, build back better. Who knows?
Mike, we got about 30 seconds and we're going to have to wrap it up. But Judge Duncan actually pointed out something that you would think these law students would know, and that is the role of a judge is not to legislate from the bench. That is up to the legislative branch. Is the Constitution basically been thrown out in our law schools? 15 seconds.
It absolutely has. Thank God President Trump transformed the federal judiciary, because our country would be lost. It is the backstop. It is the thing that's going to finally save our country. And if we lose the federal judiciary, we're done as a republic.
Mike Davis, thank you so much for your insight. We deeply appreciate you coming on Washington Watch this evening.
Thank you, Congressman.